But first up tonight, look, there are so many implications attached to this Logan cluster and the three women who did the wrong thing by allegedly falsifying information to border authorities, which of course has now sparked all-out panic in Brisbane. First up, the health repercussions are huge. Now, if the contact tracing of those that came into contact with these women is not done properly, expect a second wave in Brisbane. That's the reality, a second wave. Only this time, it will be almost impossible to keep the genie out of the bottle. The fact that one of the women is not cooperating with police about her movements suggests we are dealing with people who have no sense of responsibility or accountability. Secondly, questions must be raised about the effectiveness of our border protection, particularly here in Queensland. A viewer, John Tydeman, wrote to me today saying the difference between the airport checks for COVID that he undertook in Adelaide compared to Brisbane, they were chalk and cheese. He said he could understand why the Brisbane situation occurred, saying it was a much tougher and more stringent checking process in Adelaide. Now, cross-checking everybody at airports is difficult and it's challenging, as is the fact that we rely on people's honesty. Maybe it's time we changed the honesty system. I mean, clearly, the allegation against these women from Logan is that they were far from honest. Thirdly, this has huge implications for the Palaszczuk government politically. According to the latest news poll, the ALP in Queensland is behind 51-49 on a 2PP to the LNP. Now, with 90 days to go to the next election, the Premier's personal popularity, well, it's soaring off the back of her handling of this crisis. And she's handled it well, let's be honest. But an outbreak in Logan will test people's patience. All of the good work that's been done thus far could well be in jeopardy. And if we go to the election on October 31 here in Queensland with a second wave, well, then of course people will start looking at the policies of the Palaszczuk government. And the policies have been, terrible. Finally, the criminal element to all of this is extraordinary. Putting aside why these women were in Melbourne, and that seems nefarious, they've allegedly lied to border authorities about their movements and then knowingly roamed the community for 8 days with the knowledge that they may in fact have the virus. No self-isolation, no sense of community responsibility, nothing. And when charged, one of them refuses to provide answers. Palpable anger in Queensland against these women. If these charges against them are proven, it is essential that a judge or magistrate impose a sentence that reflects community expectations and sends the strongest possible message to others as a deterrent. Now, of course, that means jail. The public, I've got no doubt, would support such action.